Thank you for your time invested in listening to our experience in building the talent pipeline in the gaming industry. It's really a pleasure to share what we did so far. You can look at this talk from the perspective of the whole industry. If you want to join forces with other companies in building this talent pipeline that can benefit all of the companies in one industry or all of the community, or on the other hand, you can look at this from the perspective of one company and how you can build a pipeline for your organization. We don't have much time, so I'll go quickly through this first introductory slides. It's about me. I'm a part of Nordeus for more than 3 years now, working on managing these strategic initiatives in building our gaming ecosystem here in Serbia, from building the education to building the startup ecosystem, and through working with different organizations on building their capacities, but also with working with the government and improving the overall business environment for the industry to grow. On the other hand, a couple of months ago, we started developing Nordeus Foundation. I'm leading this initiative, which aims to improve our pre-university education in Serbia. This is our main focus for the next years, basically building on what we already did in the community so far. And lastly, I work with the Serbian Gay Association since its foundation, and since this year, as of this year, I'm a board member. If you're not aware of Nordeus, Nordeus is one of the biggest success stories from Serbia with its launch of Top 11 game, which became hugely popular and one of the most popular sports game in the world. It attracted millions of players, and if you're a football player or a football fan, I invite you to try the game. We also have 2 other live games, Golden Boot and Heroic Magic Duel. We are based in Belgrade, but we have an international company here, and it's gathering 170 amazing people from all over the world. And since June 2021, we are a part of the Take-Two family. I'm sure you are really well aware of who they are, or who we are now. So basically in Serbia, the situation now is that we have more than 100 teams and companies working on game development. But at the same time, we have 0 game dev education in our university. So it's a good thing to understand, like, what is our starting position. 3 years ago when I joined, we had less teams, less companies, less international companies in gaming here, but then again, the same number of opportunities for students to learn more about gaming. So it was our goal and our mission to understand better how can we build the ecosystem here that would support the growth of the overall industry. What we understood is that basically this whole industry, more than 2,000 people that works now in the gaming industry in Serbia, and creates more than $120 million annually. This is what we did so far without any systematic support, without any education dedicated to game dev at our university. So we started thinking, okay, what would happen and what would our limit be if we develop the system and the ecosystem together? So not expecting the others to do it for us, but really taking initiative and leading this change and building this environment that would be supportive for all teams and all individuals looking for a career in gaming. And this was our goal at like 3 to 4 years ago. 4 years ago when we started talking about this. So we wanted to build Serbia as a place where you can really develop games, where you're aware of these career options and you can become successful in it. We set out our vision for this, and we started with one simple sentence: we want to put Serbia on a global map of gaming. And to do that, we need more successful teams. You need more successful products, and you need to create the environment in which that can both happen. So you need to create environment in which successful teams can become. Teams can become successful, and environment in which they would know how to build successful products, and they will have a support in doing it. On the other hand, we set out the one smaller goal, in a way, of building Belgrade as a gaming hub of the region, and using this advantage of where we are as a community and where we are as an industry, to build upon it and really create this environment in Belgrade as well, that would draw other people from different countries to come here and work from Serbia. We put this vision on 9 different pillars, and this is what I've been working on for past 3 years here. And but this talk will only talk about the first 4. So what we are focusing in building the education, what is really important is building public perception. So it's not only public perception of the gaming and of games, but it's also public perception of gaming industry as a career choice, of gaming industry as a powerful and developed industry that has a huge impact on the economic development of Serbia. And it's building this perception among decision makers as well. So among people who are leading this country, or leading universities, or leading other parts of the industry, so we can find partners and collaborators in this regard. Better public perception also create motivation for people to engage with the industry and to learn more about it. And we wanted people from the early life to have this option to engage with the industry. I think gaming is a huge window of communication with young people, and it's a great opportunity for children to engage with gaming, not only with playing games, but understanding games, understanding the industry, understanding their perspective in building their careers in the gaming industry. So I think this early life engagement is really important as well. Then what you need after you finish your school and enroll in universities, opportunities for students, not only in formal regard of them having formal programs in their universities, but also having opportunities to develop their games, to become part of the community, to become part of different programs that are run by the industry, so they can prepare better for their careers, for their future careers in gaming. And to support all of it, we see the need for building this creative environment in which students, but as well as the rest of the community, the professionals working in the industry, could also meet and collaborate and engage together, so they can create and build games and have fun, maybe just with games, but also spread this gaming culture. So I think these 4 pillars are the most important in what we are discussing today, but also we are working in 5 other pillars that are building the business environment and support network for the startup ecosystem. We are building local gaming market, but also positioning Serbian gaming industry internationally and building international community in Serbia. So it's all complementary. It's all covering the whole spectrum of things you need to build, so you have a successful ecosystem that drives the production of successful games, and it's a nesting place for successful teams. To achieve this vision, we started 3 organizations, and this is what I would mention as our core organizations, basically. Why is this important? And this is now a more practical part of the talk. So you need a collaboration. You need to share the vision of the ecosystem. You need to share the vision of the community with the rest of the gaming companies, but also with the rest of the tech industry, for example, or the creative industry. I'm not sure, depending on what you have developed in your country so far. So what we started first was Digital Serbia initiative, which you can see on your right. And that initiative was built with the aim of developing digital economy here in Serbia, so accelerating our growth in the digital economy, which also involves or includes gaming, but it's more open for collaboration with other sectors of the industry. And through this organization, we focus more on more broader impact on public education for our kids in elementary and high schools, and education in universities, but also building this business environment that can support all startups, no matter are they gaming startups or regular, and building this dialogue with the government. So creating this way of collaborating in creating the best solutions for the growth of the overall digital ecosystem. Then the voice of the gaming is built through Serbian Games Association, which now gathers almost all gaming teams and companies present in Serbia, and it aims to support them in their growth, represent the gaming industry, representing in the initiatives that Digital Serbia initiative is already taking, and offer the support for startups and for smaller indie teams in building their businesses. But what we as a Nordeus started was Nordeus Hub, which aims to cover this part that is between education and the industry. So what we aim to do through Nordeus Hub is create opportunities for people interested in gaming to get to know better the industry, to understand better career paths, to understand better what their role could be, then understand better and learn and grow within their roles and functions, then to assemble a team and learn how they can create a game through practical programs, and then in the end with that game understand how they can build a business around it. If you look from left to right, when we finish this process through Nordeus Hub and our initiatives in supporting them build a game and build a business around it, then they enter SGA and they get support from the developed community and the rest of the industry. And when they become a stable member of the industry, then they involve and engage in the more ecosystem initiatives and support initiatives around Digital Serbia. So it's all interconnected, and this was a part of our mission, how we can work with these three organizations in building the gaming ecosystem in Serbia. So what we did create together so far, I think this left picture sums it up nicely. You can see the change that we made in just 5 years. So from 2017, when we started the first organization, DSI, you can see them by this pink lines and pink circles. You can see Digital Serbia initiatives on top, then Nordeus Hub down in the middle, then beneath it is SGA, and then CGA, another organization that we work closely with. Basically, you can see the difference. Blue lines are programs in lower education. These pink lines are in higher education. Green lines are startup and business ecosystem programs. So you can see what have changed for individuals, but also teams in the support that ecosystem is providing to them. And you can see that in 2017, we started with some sort of advocacy and policy making, and with the first education in elementary schools. But in 2021, you can see everything that exists so far. If you take a closer look, basically from 2017 to 2020, we implemented programming in lower education. So now our kids, since the age of 12, have programming in their schools. Then they have opportunities for master programs, which we see as the best opportunity for industry to collaborate with the higher education. And it's the easiest because it's really hard to change 4 years programs, but implementing new 1 year or 1.5 year programs in game dev, it's possible, and it's much easier, at least in Serbia. That opened the door for cooperation and communication with the different universities, which then made this opportunity to implement different game-related education in many of the universities and faculties. Now, you have to notice that it's not the formal program. It's more collaboration with these institutions through professors, through students, in bringing these game dev programs to them. At the end, our partners from Trilateral and our partners from CGA, or Krater Training Center, they organize education for more than 50 professors from 10 different formal education institutions on developing games. And now we are supporting them in building the curricula for their universities. So things are continue to happen. On the lower end of this slide, you have hub programs that I will go more in details on the next slide. But what is important is that we built programs that offer them intro to gaming, so introductory lessons. Then we offer them more advanced lessons and more advanced programs, and then we offer them startup programs, basically opportunity for them as teams to get support from the community and build these programs together. From the SGA perspective, we built many peer-to-peer communities and programs that offer them more advanced support, but also bring them closer together and offer them a network of people that they can ask for support or learn from them or have a mentorship opportunity. So you can see the change that is made, and it's made together. So it's something that you can do also in your country, and this is something that is that I will try to explain you simply how to do it. So first, this is the structure of our hub programs. So we start with game labs and intro to gaming. So through game labs, we organize regular presentation of different gaming companies from Serbia, so they can present themselves, but also promote gaming, promote game making, and get in contact with the rest of the community. Through intro to gaming, we really support people to understand better the gaming industry, and it is the first step in understanding their role, their future roles in gaming and their career paths. Through it, we organize more intense programs where they can learn through 3 or 4 weeks programs. So we organize game dev bootcamps, art bootcamps, narrative design bootcamps, even game design bootcamps. So it's different programs that last for up to 4 weeks. And it's programs that we facilitate basically the support of the community to everyone who wants to learn more about gaming. What this did for how this grew in a previous few years, basically for narrative design, we organized one workshop we had back in 2019. I think we had like 20 people attending. Then beginning of 2020, we had around 100. And then on the last bootcamp, we have around 350 people attending. It was digital, so no geographical barriers. You can just attend it online. From there, we give you opportunities to show your knowledge and get mentorship support. So you get different types of jams. We have game jams, art jams, and game design jams even. And we organize the construction club, which is the easiest program that you can organize for people to really understand how to build their games with the understanding the business in mind. The last step is a booster program, so it's incubation for people who wants to gather a team and then develop a game. It doesn't have to be a game that you would launch on any type of store, but it's a game that you would develop in 4 to 6 month long program. It's a game that you will develop and learn through this process. So we offer them a process basically, so we can support them in understanding the whole process around making the game. But if you do develop again, and if you are successful with it, then we offer you a Booster Plus program that supports you building a business around it. And we have more than 40 teams going through all these programs, and I think 3 to 4 teams getting investment at the end of it. So it's a good percentage of success. What we also did is build communities and thought leaders. We gather people of similar interest in one place. We organized regular events that are gathering them in game dev, art and design, HR, CSR, UA, and data science. And we do this mostly under different organizations. So many of these guys are gathered under SGA, and SGA is doing amazing work in that regard, but it's also giving the opportunity for people with similar interests to connect, to exchange knowledge, and to learn from professionals. How we do it is mostly through Discord channel, through SGA, but we also do it through regular peer-to-peer events and mentorship programs. What you can learn from us in this, from all of this, is basically first try to improve the perception of the gaming industry. And we did it simply by sponsoring some of the media outlets that are communicating to tech industry, but also in promoting the gaming industry to decision makers. And everyone, when they understand it better, they can see their business opportunity in it. So universities would understand that there would be that the career in gaming would attract students to learn more about it, and then you can open this type of communication with them. From the general public and gaming enthusiasts, you can create public and interest for your education programs. Then on the second part is building and facilitating industry to university partnership. So there are 3 layers of this support that you can offer. So one support is supporting the university and professors grow by themselves. So being a consultant, supporting them in building curricula, supporting them in building programs, and etc., or giving them education straight. The other part is when they actually do it, and when they actually are ready to make that change in their universities, try and facilitate the support of the industry towards those programs. So these programs and our master program in gaming would have 10 gaming companies supporting it and giving their speakers, their employees as guest speakers. So it's giving the more value to the programs they are doing and supporting them and involving these professors in the community, in the business community, connecting all of them together. Then the third layer is facilitating the support of the industry towards these universities and their students through other experience sharing programs. So these students through their programs can visit other companies, can attend some of these programs that we mentioned that we do as Nordeus Hub, and etc. So it's doing that one extra step that you can do alone as an industry, as a community. The third one is building talent development programs. It's not such a huge hassle to do it. You don't have to start Nordeus Hub in order to do it. You should start something that can happen regularly, but involve the rest of the industry in doing it. So it's not only your company that do 10 talks, it's 10 companies that do this type of talks. And you can do these programs around talent development, around product development, around startup development. So it's important to have this this involvement of the whole industry in the process, and this is something that you can do through your community organization or through your national gaming association. And the fourth learning point is to build and facilitate professional groups and networks. So it's important to gather people together that have similar interests, that do similar functions, create monthly opportunities for them to meet and exchange their knowledge. It doesn't have to be any type of well-developed conference or well-developed event. It can be just a place for them to exchange knowledge. And when you have community set out, for the companies, it's important to position their people. For the community, it's important to exchange knowledge. But to that programs, you can also attach students, and you can create pipeline then for young talent to get involved with these specific topics and specific functions. With it, you can create mentorship programs. SGA has a great example of that. Then different peer-to-peer programs, and what my best recommendation would be to start a Discord community that could attract a wide community around it. So that would be it. Thank you. If you have any additional questions, please do ask.
Hello, we are back, and we have Milos live.
Hello.
Hello, Milos. It's nice to meet you. Sorry, it's not in person, but thank you very much for joining our event.
Thank you. Hope it was resourceful for people interested in building this type of things in their industry.
It's very interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm representing the association here, so at least for me, it's very interesting. Actually, let me ask the first question. So it's interesting to me that the Serbian Games Association seems to have not just development studios, but also all sorts of other anything related to games, right? So including esports companies and distributors and so on. Is that correct?
Yes, esports companies and different service companies.
Okay, and I mean, does this generate any kind of conflicts, politics, discussion, or it's just one big happy family?
No, I think what I'm really proud of our industry is that the collaboration is in the center of it, and it's driving the development of the whole industry. So far, it's the whole industry growth is built on the community effort. So this is something that I think we are taking with pride.
And so, okay, reading a few questions from the chat. How do you convince professionals in the industry to dedicate time to this, knowing most of them are working too much anyway? And how much budget is needed for such a big operation to coordinate it? Do you pay mentors? Can you talk a little bit about these things?
Yes, well, maybe it's a thing also that I missed to notice preparing this talk. Basically, with building the perception of gaming, I think the first step would be to build the community. I think this is the most important thing. And if you have a country where you have a small or local community, you have to build these values of support. And it's starting with bigger companies, sometimes with them not taking all of the opportunities that are available for them in the industry, but sharing these opportunities with other companies and involving them and engaging them in building something that would be worthwhile for the whole development of the industry. And it's important that if you have something that you can do alone, is something that you need to do with others. And it all starts with a meeting with another company, with all of these professionals, and explaining them exactly what you want to do, what you want to achieve. And this is the process where you will find these guys who want to engage, who want to invest their time, and who feel passionate about the industry and the gaming as much as you do. And this is where you start. You can start from 5 people, and then with these 5 you will certainly find the 20 next, and then everything will grow further. We don't pay, just to say, we don't pay the mentorship. Yeah, mentorship support, we don't pay. I think it's people are really eager, and they really want to become part of the initiatives that we are starting. And when I say start, I always mean the community, not only Nordeus. And I think this is really a beautiful thing. So you need to build these relationships with people and explain them why are you doing it. It's not just a call that you will send through an email or a public post on Facebook inviting them to invest their time. It's something that you will sit down with them and have this mutual understanding of what you want to achieve, what is the vision and what are the values.
And you have all the the different types of companies involved, right? So not just smaller developers, but also big companies like Nordeus. I think Ubisoft is also present in Serbia. So all of these companies are involved, I take it?
Yeah. Yes, with bigger companies, sometimes it's easier because you will find employer branding goals that you can achieve through these initiatives. So they will do it, with their own agenda in mind. But for smaller and companies, it can be also a opportunity to get in touch with the talent pool and promote themselves and put themselves on a local map of gaming.
Has COVID impacted, the evolution and growth of this initiative? You mentioned about building relationships. It's harder to do that if you're not meeting people in person. How have you, managed this during COVID times?
It actually impacted the whole industry, and the industry grew, and that growth was felt in Serbia as well. On the other hand, in this community work, I think what is the most important thing is that we are now familiar with what is happening right now, and it's something that we need to build upon. It's not something that we should let waiting for that to end and then to get back to the office. I think this is really a powerful tool that can bring us knowledge from international knowledge in Serbia easily with the 1 hour of someone's time invested in talking in front of his computer. So I think this is one of the most important tools that we used, and we basically built the digital ecosystem for knowledge sharing, and we want to improve that by developing these platforms where you can have all of this material that we collected in the previous 1.5 years and published it in forms of courses. So I think next step for our industry would be to have in Serbian all the courses available for you to help you understand gaming and build your games. So this is something that I think we should all look at this as an opportunity, to grow, because we have certain cities in Serbia where you don't have developed local gaming industry. So it's much harder to find mentors. It's much harder to find good talks. It's much harder to have events. But with online approach, I think this is all now on one platform, going from a single source. So we have to use it well.
Thanks. And the final question, how would you recommend getting into the game industry in Serbia for undergraduates?
For undergraduates, well, this is something that we are still basically developing. I mentioned on a slide the opportunities that people have. The key opportunity is through Nordeus Cup programs and SGA programs. So there are many events where you can get involved, where you can get engaged, you can build your games, you can find mentors, but you have to get in touch with the community and the whole industry from the get-go. You don't have to wait for you to get diploma and then try to start looking for a job. Gaming is interesting in a way that you can do it, as part of your studies, and it's something that can help you grow and the industry your way to a diploma.
All right. Milos, thanks a lot for being here with us today. I really wish that we stay in touch more and see how we can. I think Romania and Serbia probably have the most well-organized associations and ecosystems. So I think it makes sense to do more things together.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think you can learn a lot from you guys.
Same here. Thanks a lot, Milos.